Okay. All right, listen up, folks. My name is Kevin Curry, and I'm here to tell you the story about civic tech volunteerism. I want you to leave the next 5 minutes understanding that civic tech volunteerism is real, it's happening, and you should embrace it. There's communities all across the country right now who have the capacity, yes, to write code, yes, to design beautiful interfaces to government websites, but also, as we saw with Honolulu Answers, to create the content, to answer citizen questions in basic language. And we started the brigade with the thesis that people all throughout the country wanted to take those skills and contribute it to Code for America in the cities in which they live. And we weren't really sure, so we wanted to test that hypothesis. So back in February, we had this event called Code Across America. And we simultaneously in 16 cities, 8 fellowship cities and 8 volunteer cities, held coding events like the Write-a-thon, like hackathons, in which coders and designers came together to provide their skills for civic good. And you saw in Philadelphia, we had mayors in multiple cities come. We had folks in Macon, Georgia, where we taught them how to use Google Docs. And some amazing things happened. We saw that individuals, this is a brigade member, Andrew Carpenter, who lives in Lexington, Kentucky, and he deployed Adopt a Hydrant to Syracuse, New York. And I asked Andrew, like, why did you do that? And he said, well, that's where it snows. And what was interesting is that it created this conversation with the city of Syracuse. When he first deployed this, he didn't exactly have the hydrants in the right place, but through our relationships and through our connections, we were able to create a dialogue with people and get those things in the right place. And now Andrew is like this expert in deploying Adopt a Hydrant wherever we can get data. So last week I was working with folks from Providence, Rhode Island, and they sent me a PDF file with all the locations of all the fire hydrants. And I said, you know, what am I going to do with this? I gave it to Andrew. He gave me back Adopt a Hydrant Providence. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And it turns out there are Adopt a Hydrant programs all throughout the country that we really just need to take and give them the tools to engage online. Triangle Wiki was another great story that came out of Code Across. So this is Local Wiki, and Local Wiki is a wiki written about a place by the people of a place. And this is Reed Sorosi. He's a brigade member, and he lives in Raleigh. And you know, here this is a familiar picture right here. Is people sitting around, spending their time on weekends, nights, writing content to describe what they think about the triangle, the research triangle in Raleigh, and why they think it's awesome, and why you should visit, and what you should get out of it. And during Code Across, you see this spike here. We had thousands of edits by hundreds of people, and we saw it working. We saw it happening. In San Diego, we've Jeff Johnson in San Diego is our brigade captain there, and Jed Sunwall. The two of them together basically liberated 400 data sets over the weekend. And you know, so we went from having very few data sets online to having 400 as a result of Code Across. And so what we learned from that is like, this is citizen engagement. This is really happening in hackathons all across the country and write-a-thons all across the country. This is a new form of citizen engagement, and it's tapping into that community that has a capacity, and it's enabling engagement through the technology that these people provide. So we figured that we had it right. So what we wanted to do now is structure that activity and provide it direction and gear it toward action. So we said, send in the brigade. And as you've heard before, this isn't about us coming in and saying, we're going to save everything, we're going to fix everything. This is about saying, we're here to help. We want to help. We have the capacity, and we want you to take us seriously. We're not here to poke you in the eye, which is what so many people do in government. We want to lift you up, and we want to use our skills to do that. And if you don't believe me, just ask the 17 or so of our 20 brigade captains in the room. In fact, if you're here, would you mind standing up so that we could recognize these civic heroes? Yeah. These are people who have agreed to volunteer a year of their lives to implement a strategic plan for their city that they can look back and say, this year, this is what we did. And these are just an amazing group of people. And they're from all over the country, and they represent all sorts of skill sets. So I want to tell you a few stories about like what's happened since we've got this program going, since we did Code Across. But before I do, these are the activities that people participate in. You can lead and organize. You can liberate data. You can deploy civic apps. You can advocate for open government. And you can contribute source code to open source civic software. So here's Scott Barnwell. He's from Asheville. He's actually in government, and he's our brigade captain there. And the city of Asheville is having open data day, actually next week, I guess. And here they've opened up and they said, come hack with us, right? This is government going to the community and saying, come hack with us. I mean, how awesome is that? All right, it's awesome. In city of Pittsburgh, all right, you have city of Pittsburgh, you have someone on our forum from the city saying, are you itching for data? I got it. Come talk to me. And what's great about Pittsburgh is that we have a fellow here, Dave Garino, he lives in New York, and he organized in Pittsburgh. And as a result, we have academia and the city and industry all talking together. This is Jared. Jared is a student at North Bergen County Academies. He takes this so seriously, he wants to start a club at his high school. And so here he is in front of his student body doing that club. This is so serious that the White House said, we're going to have a National Day of Civic Hacking. We're going to do this all across the country. All right, but deploying apps is not the hard part. All right, and creating engagement through these apps is the hard part. So if you see in this map of Honolulu, all those orange sirens still need to be adopted. So our next hypothesis is that we can create engagement through these things. And so we're going to launch our fall and winter campaign called Race to Reuse. We're going to take these 4 technologies, and we're going to deploy them wherever we can, to as many places as we can, and we're going to campaign in those cities to create engagement through those apps. There are prizes, there are rewards. It's very fulfilling. These people aren't doing it for prizes and rewards. They're doing it because they care. And I want you to join us. I want you to join the brigade. I want you to go back to your cities and code for America. Thank you.